Happy Monday. Thanks for joining me again for another ELA lesson and read aloud. I'm so excited to join you this week. I hope that you've had a great weekend, and I hope that the weather is really nice wherever you are. It's great here. So once I finish this, I'm going to go take a nice walk and enjoy the sunshine. So hopefully you'll be able to do that as well. All right, let me share with you this very special book that I am going to read for you today. Let me get it pulled up here. All right, this is a special book that I'm going to read to you today, not only because I love the message in this book, but also because one of my very dear friends wrote this book. So the title of the book that we're going to read today is called Spruce and Lucy, and it's by my dear friend Todd Nessaloni, and it's illustrated by, I don't know if it's pronounced Oak-Tune or Okie-Tune. I'm thinking it's Oak-Tune. That's what I'm thinking, but I'm not exactly positive. All right, so are you ready for this story? Spruce and Lucy by Todd Nessaloni. Before we start, I just wanted to share with you some vocabulary that may help you understand the story a little better. Now, like I said before, if we were in the classroom, I wouldn't be giving you the definition for these words. We would be talking about them and figuring them out together. But since we don't have the benefit of doing that, I'm just going to give you the definition. So the first vocabulary word we're going to talk about is sprouted. And sprouted simply means to grow from the ground. Next is wilt. So you're going to hear the word wilt in this story. And when you hear that, it means to become limp and droopy. And then colony. A colony is a community where animals live and work together. Now, in this story, when they talk about a colony, they're going to be talking about an ant colony because one of the characters in the story, her name is Lucy, and she's a little ant who lived in an ant colony. So it's a community where animals live and work together. And then the next word is grateful. And grateful means being thankful and happy for what you have. That's something we could all be, right? We all need to be grateful. We all need to be thankful and happy for what we have. So those are the words that we're going to learn, that we're going to hear in this story. And so now when I come across them, you'll know exactly what they mean so that you can truly understand the story. All right, are you ready to get started? Spruce and Lucy by Todd Nessaloni, illustrated by Oak-Tune. One day, a small tree sprouted from the ground. This tree's name was Spruce. Spruce was a very pleasant tree. He was always kind to all the other trees and animals in the forest. There was something different about Spruce, though. No matter how hard he tried, he just couldn't grow big and tall like all the other trees in the forest. One day, Spruce was talking to his fellow trees, and one of them said, "Spruce, are you sick? You have been growing for years, yet you are still smaller than all the other trees. If you are always going to be such a small tree, what are you going to be good for?" Spruce had never thought of that before. He had always been really happy with his size. But now that Mr. Oak brought up the fact that Spruce was so much smaller than the other trees, Spruce began to wonder what he really was good for. Look at Mr. Oak. He reaches high into the sky and gives shade to so many things. I'm too small to ever do that, thought Spruce. And look at Miss Apple. She grows beautiful fruit on her limbs that helps feed many animals. I don't grow any kind of food. And what about Mr. and Mrs. Evergreen? They have amazing full leaves and have many different kinds of birds that want to live in them. No animal can live on the tiny leaves I've sprouted. Spruce became more and more upset, thinking he had nothing to offer anyone in the forest, and he slowly began to wilt. One day, an ant named Lucy was walking through the forest. She was very scared because she had lost her colony, and she was alone. Everywhere she looked, she saw huge trees, gigantic fruit, and enormous animals. Lucy was terrified that she would never find anyone her size again. Lucy found a tiny piece of shade and began to cry. Spruce heard the sobbing. He had been so caught up in his own sadness that he hadn't even noticed the helpless ant until now. Spruce looked down and called out, "What's the matter? Why are you crying?" Lucy looked up. A tree had never spoken to her before because she was so small. But this tree was small too. Lucy said, "I've lost my colony and I'm all alone. And there are so many large things in the forest that I'm too afraid to go on." "Don't cry," said Spruce. "My name is Spruce, and I know all about being little. All my family is so much bigger than me, and I often feel all alone too. We should become friends." Spruce and Lucy became like family. Lucy never left Spruce's side, and they were always there to encourage one another. Lucy told all about her life in the colony, and Spruce told all about his life as a tiny tree. One day, Spruce was feeling upset about his size again, and Lucy noticed something was wrong. "What's the matter, Spruce?" asked Lucy. "I just feel like I have nothing great to offer anyone," said Spruce. "Every other tree has a great job except for me." "That's not true," said Lucy. "You have a very important job. You saved me. When I was lost in the forest and all alone, you were the only one who tried to comfort me. Even though you only have a few leaves, and even though they're small, those are still leaves who provide me with just enough shade every day. Small things like me would feel completely overwhelmed without small trees like you." Spruce had never thought of it like that before. He did have an important job. Spruce had never imagined that being a small tree would ever benefit anyone. But he was wrong. Being small was just as important as being a big and tall tree. That made Spruce feel much better. From that day on, he never again felt sad about being a small tree. He knew that he had an important job, and he was just grateful to be alive and to have found a friend like Lucy. Lucy and Spruce lived in the forest for many more years, helping out and being kind to small things just like them. For being small doesn't mean you can't do great things. I love that. Let me read that one more time. Lucy and Spruce lived in the forest for many more years, helping out and being kind to small things just like them. For being small doesn't mean you can't do great things. So here's what I want to talk to you guys about today. Here's what I want us to work on. I want us to work on the message. And the message is what the characters learn from the story. So I want you to think about, what lesson did Sprout learn? Now, when we're thinking about the message in the story and thinking about what lesson did the character learn, we can think about, remember a few weeks ago whenever I talked to you about the glove? We can think about the problem the character faced. We can think about what problem he faced or what feelings he experienced. So in this story, what problem did he face or what feelings did he experience? I want you to stop and think about that for just a minute. Yes, so some of you are probably thinking about the fact that he was really sad. He was experiencing some real sadness. Why? Because the problem was he wasn't growing as big as the other trees. He stayed small, and he was really sad about that. But what lesson did he learn? What lesson did he learn? Maybe you're thinking like I am. Now, maybe Maybe you've thought of something else, and that's okay too. But here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that Sprout learned to be happy with himself just the way he is. Because at the end, what did they say? Let me read it to you one more time, because Todd did such a great job in this story. And this is a lesson that we can all learn, right? Being small doesn't mean you can't do great things. So even though Sprout was small, he was still able to do great things. And he learned to be happy with himself just the way he is. And you can even apply that. We talked about making connections. So you can think about you're small, right? You're not as big as your mom or dad, or maybe if you have an older brother or sister. But what things could you still do, right? What great things could you still do? So I want you, as you're thinking about the lesson that Sprout learned to be happy with himself just the way he is. I want you to use evidence from the text. What words in the story showed you that? What words in the story led you to believe that he learned to be happy with himself just the way he is? And I'm not going to go through this with you because this is the job that I want to leave you with. So if you have someone who can download these things for you, I have some recording sheets where you can download and you can write about the message from the story, and you can go back and listen to me read the story, and you can pause on pages if you need to. And I want your job to be to find the evidence in the text. What words showed you that was the message? So you can download it at bit.ly/DJ Reads4. And I also have a directed drawing of Spruce so that you can draw the cute character in the story of Spruce. And I just want to say thank you to my great friend Todd for writing a book that has such a great message for adults and children alike. So thanks, Todd, and thank you, friends, for joining me. I probably won't be back next Monday for a story because I'm going to be out of town, but stay tuned, watch my Instagram, and I'll let you know when I will be back with another story. So have a great day. I hope you enjoy a great walk outside.